Okay, now that we know a little bit about what complex numbers are, now we're going to start learning how to do arithmetic with them. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to add and subtract complex numbers. So I'm going to give you two complex numbers. Let's say 3 plus 4i. That's a single number. And I'm going to add 5 minus 3i, which is another single complex number. Now, if I were to give you this problem and say just add these things together and you knew nothing about complex numbers or what I represented or anything, what would you say you would do to add these things together? Right, I bet you said combine like terms, and that's exactly what you do when you're adding and subtracting complex numbers. So the 3 and the 5 are both real parts, so those would get added together to make the real part of your answer. And the 4i and the negative 3i are imaginary parts, so those would get added to make the imaginary part of your answer. So this would be the sum of those two complex numbers. Differences work exactly the same way. The only thing you have to be careful about with them is that you subtract correctly. So if I do 2 plus 5i minus 8 minus 6i, again, I would combine like terms. Real part with real part. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. And then imaginary part and imaginary part. 5 minus negative 6i would turn it into a plus, so that would be plus 11i. So just keep in mind when you're adding and subtracting complex numbers, you add and subtract the real parts and the imaginary parts, and those things go together to make the single complex number answer.